I've had many leading experts on this show, including Matthew Walker, and they've all said the same thing about sleep. They've said it's the biggest positive investment you can make in your own performance. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're consistently tired, poor decision-making will follow and eventually cause other things to fail in your life. So if you're looking to optimize your recovery, you should start looking at what you're sleeping on. Our sponsor, Helix, makes high-quality mattresses tailored to your body. It doesn't matter if you run hot, sleep on your side, or need something firm. Helix has a mattress for you. And I asked them recently to send one to a member of my team, and Juan received it. And we travel a lot, so when he's home, quality sleep really matters. And he told me he's getting the best sleep of his life. And the data backs it up, with 82% of people in a Helix study saying they saw an increase in their deep sleep. And with a 120-night trial, you've got 4 months to prove it to yourself. You can get 27% off at helixsleep.com/diary. That's helixsleep.com/diary.
I know that there's going to be a lot of young entrepreneurs watching this, and I know that they typically ask me the same question. So I want to ask you just a couple of them before we wrap. One of them I get a lot is, there'll be someone listening to this, they've not got any money.
Yeah.
They want to start a business. They don't have an idea, but they want to start a business. Yeah. What would you say to them?
They go, if you don't have an idea or money.
Yeah. But they want to be an entrepreneur. I get this a lot.
So the first thing for me would be to find out what you're truly, truly passionate about. Because for me, when I started Gymshark, I made 2 fitness apps beforehand. I made 2 fitness apps, both failed miserably. I made a little fitness social network, failed miserably. A little fitness sort of forum that failed miserably. And then Gymshark was, I wanted to be involved in the industry more than anything. I wanted to be involved in fitness because it changed my life. It was the thing that got me from being a D student to an A student. Literally, that was the thing that changed my life.
The discipline.
Yeah, the discipline that I learned, the structure, the fact that if I was tired on a Monday, the gym doesn't care. Go in and lift. It doesn't matter. And most importantly, that if January 1, I joined the gym and I lift 5 days a week, every single week, by December 25, whatever, I am better than I was a year ago. Those lessons to me were massive because previously I didn't really realize that. And I do this thing in school where I would be like, I'd try really hard and I get a bad grade. And then there'd be another thing that I wouldn't try out and I get a really good grade. And it didn't, do you know what I mean? It didn't add up to me. So for me, I was in love with the industry and fitness was and is my passion. And that carried me through some of the difficult times because I remember the difference it's made to my life. And it's this inherent passion that drives me every day. So if you've got no idea or money, just lean into that community, whatever it is. It might be boxing, it might be golf, it might be videography, it might be motorcycles or bicycles or whatever. Lean into it because inevitably there will be an opportunity, especially now because of this new social media world that we live in. There's so much room for people to create brands. So yeah, I would just lean into whatever your passion is.
It's so true because you can waste a ton of time procrastinating and falling into indecision by trying to guess. Mm-hmm. And as you said there, I read that Gymshark was actually like the 7th app or website you created. So you leaned into the industry, did this process of failure and exploration and stumbled across the winner, right?
Yeah. And you have to fail. This is one of the, if you're a young entrepreneur, just do not be afraid to fail. Just all names out of boxes, ideas out of boxes aside, the likelihood of an individual starting a business and that one being the one that strikes gold is ridiculously low. What we've got to remember is you could start 30 businesses and you are still more likely to fail than you are succeed. So just honestly, just keep trying and don't be afraid to fail. I think that's so, so, so important. And everyone I've met, by the way, from the people that run businesses that are 10 times bigger than Gymshark to every entrepreneur that I've met, every business person, every successful person in sport, in business, whatever, whether they've started a business or not, every single one of them has failed time and time and time again. And I think then people look at the final product and just assume that they were either this incredible human who was born this way and it is just never, ever the case. More often than not, all the most successful people I've ever met are all winging it. They're all literally just working incredibly hard and they're just giving it their best shot.
Can I ask you one more on this point? Mm-hmm. I think that was a superb answer as well because it's just incredibly true. The other question I'd get a lot from young entrepreneurs is something like, they're in a job at the moment and they've got an idea. So this is an example where they've got a business idea that they want to pursue, but they're just, you know, they've heard you say that, they want to pursue it, but there's something holding them back. And they're, you know, I know you get this a lot as well.
Yeah.
It's probably most conversations. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think if it's your passion, then I think you should jump in. The other thing I would say, and I think this is a dangerous thing. I do see people online go in, quit your job, jump in, go and do something. And it's a bit like, personally, I'm sat there thinking, no, don't quit your job. It's fine. Like I worked at Pizza Hut for whatever, I can't remember what the amount was. It was £4 or £5 an hour, and Gymshark was doing hundreds of thousands in revenue. The utility of having a job whilst running the business is huge. One, because you can earn money to survive, so you don't need to remove money from the business. So two, you can then reinvest all the profits that you can make in that business. If you just and two, by the way, if business number one fails, you've still got your job. You try number two, number three, number four. And I think whatever it is, find your passion. I genuinely don't think it's a good idea just to jump out of your job just on a whim. There are some people, you'll hear about the 1 in a million that succeeds, and congratulations, more power to you. I'm super happy for those people. But you don't hear about the 99% that ended up quitting their job and it didn't go as well as what they would like, and then they ended up having to go back and find a new job. So use that job as a superpower, as stability, and invest the money you earn from that job in the business, and just keep trying.
And hard work, where does that fit? What's the importance of it? Because there's a narrative I talk about a lot in this podcast that hard work is maybe a little bit, the narrative you see online from the hustle porn stars, a little bit toxic.
Yeah.
But would you be sat here without hard work?
Oh, definitely not. No. It's that combination of hard work alone is definitely not enough. You have to work hard, but you also have to work smart. There were periods where we were finding out ways to manipulate Google in a way that got Gymshark to the top, which gave us huge revenue for next to no cost, right? That was smart work. But there were days when we would work 12, 14, 16 hours sewing and printing T-shirts every single day. There are days like that now where we just work and work and work to get the job done. So exclusively hard work won't solve your problems. You definitely have to work smart. But I've never met anyone who was genuinely successful that wasn't hardworking.